Maybe you've heard about Adobe's Creative Cloud, but you're still not completely sure what it is. Simply put, it's a whole new way of working and creating, giving you everything you need to do your best work. When you join Creative Cloud, you get all the same state-of-the-art creative tools you've always used and loved. Tools like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere Pro, but they've been completely reinvented to support a more intuitive and connected way of creating. Plus, you have access to brand new tools like Adobe Muse and Edge tools and services for building beautiful modern websites. With one membership, you get every Adobe Creative tool so you can constantly experiment and expand your skills. And the very latest features are always available to you when you're ready to download and install them. Creative Cloud lets you work from anywhere, on any device, wherever you are and with anyone you want. You can sync your files to the cloud to work on them later, access them from another device, or share your files and collaborate with a team. In fact, Creative Cloud was specifically designed to streamline the way creatives work together. You can set up private folders, choose your collaborators, manage versions, and capture all the activity related to your projects, all in one place. And with the integration of Behance, the world's leading creative community, you can showcase your work to millions, get feedback, and get exposure. From right within Photoshop CC, you can post your designs to your Works in Progress portfolio on Behance, and then get instant feedback from your trusted peers. You can also explore and discover the world's best work from leading creatives, peers, and people you know. Behance ProSite is also included with your membership. It's a fully customizable professional online portfolio on your own URL. With ProSite, keeping your portfolio up to date becomes easier than ever. You can also build and publish websites, mobile apps, and iPad applications. It's all included in your membership. Download the creative apps from the cloud to your desktop and use them the same way you always have, whether you're connected to the internet or not. You have a central dashboard to help you keep track of your entire creative universe. Your ideas, files, fonts, colors, settings, and updates and upgrades to your desktop apps, as well as your collaborators and community activity. And you have access to a growing library of tutorials and inspirational content. It's all available in real time wherever you happen to be. Creative Cloud evolves as you evolve and gives you everything you need to keep up, so you can experiment, innovate, and embrace whatever's next. Create now.
Learn more, achieve more. That's the message LinkedIn Learning has for individuals and organizations. Our goal is to help you and your employees discover and learn the skills needed to be productive and successful through a highly personalized, data-driven, engaging learning experience. LinkedIn Learning combines 3 core elements: diverse and high-quality content, personalized curation, and anytime, anywhere convenience. But it begins with content. Our content covers topics employees must have to be successful and topics organizations need to engage, develop, and retain top talent in today's competitive job market. Courses are taught by industry experts, all with real-world experience. Our business library covers courses on leadership and management, talent management, effective communication, strategy, and career development. Our technology library covers in-demand topics, including programming, infrastructure and operations, data science, and networking that are critical to software engineering and IT managers. Our creative library covers topics for CAD and creative professionals, with an emphasis on design and staying on top of emerging trends and technologies. In addition to our diverse content, unique insights from the world's largest professional network allow us to create a personalized learning experience for you and your employees. With 450 million member profiles and billions of engagements on LinkedIn.com, we have a unique view of how jobs, industries, organizations, and skills continually evolve. With this data, we can identify the skills you and your employees need and deliver expert-led courses to help attain those skills. These same insights also empower managers or L&D professionals to easily identify and recommend the most relevant content to their teams and employees. Today's workforce has more competing demands for their time than ever before. To help make it convenient to learn anytime, anywhere, Our mobile apps for Android and iOS allow you and your employees to take our industry experts everywhere, including offline. We're proud of our courses and our platform, but mostly, we're proud that millions of people will acquire the skills needed to be more productive and successful. With LinkedIn Learning, we're introducing a revolution in learning and an evolution of you and your organization.
Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. In a few minutes, about to begin Present Like a Pro tips on business presentation. So, tonight we will not be learning anything technical like CAD, but of course, we want you all to succeed. Okay, so this topic is very universal. It applies, of course, to your business and to your careers. Yes, we do want you to be, yep, successful. Okay, so yeah, before we begin, for those who are into digital creativity, inviting you to join us in Digital Creatives Worldwide. And of course, inviting you as well to join us in Adobe Users Community. Okay, so once more, we will be raffling away LinkedIn Business Premium and LinkedIn Learning subscription. So I'm going to be once more pasting down the link for you to register and for you to be included in our raffle draw. Okay, and joining me this evening is a top 100 Filipino. I guess top 20, top 10. I forgot to follow in LinkedIn. So let's say good evening to Mr. Yep. Raymond Victorino.
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Of course, Joe Mark, nice to see you again. Kumusta ka?
Ayan. Yep, kumusta ako? Very very busy like you. Of course, we're very serious with our advocacy ayan in sharing in ano no, being a blessing to everyone. And I hope again this evening sana maging blessing ulit kami. Sana po we hope you will learn something new, tips on business presentations. Okay, for those who are not familiar again with Sir Raymond, please introduce yourself naman.
Okay. Every time I co-host with you here, no, I really need to introduce myself. Anyway, so again, good evening, everyone. I am Raymond Victorino, and Joe Mark said I was fortunate to be recognized as one of the top 100. It doesn't matter what ranking, no, because if you're in the top 100, I think that alone is an
Yep.
honor, no? And of course, it's a responsibility. I'm an HR practitioner. I'm actually back to the corporate world. I'm also engaged as a mentor in an American online university. No, it's Nextport University. So far, those are my roles. No, in terms of um, like my livelihood. But I'm also a dad to a 6 month old son. Ayan. So doon din ako busy sa aking anak. Ayun. So that's it. And I hope we'll get to know each other all.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So, yep, encouraging you guys to please let's connect with each other. Especially most especially in LinkedIn. And before we begin, shout out down, no, shout out to our friends in Binildian Industrial Designers. Again, we're hoping na this live stream training is beneficial to all of you, to our friends in Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, to our friends in Fab Lab. Okay, Fab Lab Bohol, Fab Lab Mindanao. Ayan. Good evening to Verniel. Okay, happy to see everyone once more, and I am hoping na we get to meet each other talaga in person. Okay. Sir Eduardo Regalado, good evening. Okay, I think Raymond is having an internet difficulty. Nawala siya bigla. Yep. Anyways, again, very, very happy to be with you guys once more. Ayan. Sir Raymond, nawala ka.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Ayan. So, naglolo ko ang PLDT, no, dito sa area.
Ayan. Okay. So, yep. Without further ado, let me bring in, our main sharer this evening. Let's get to meet. Actually, this is also my first time. Ayan, no, in actually meeting e-meeting. Tanggalin na daw yung sir, no? Ian Santos. So, again, let's say good evening, good morning, good afternoon to Ian Santos. Sir Ian, good evening.
Hey, Joe Mark and Raymond. Iyan na lang, partner.
Yep.
Nice to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Ayan. And again, also, no, thank you so much for doing this. And I guess let's warm things up na lang muna siguro. By me asking, how did you get to, paano mo sinimulan yung career ng training? How did you get into that field?
Okay. Medyo long story, but I'll try to shorten it, no? In my past corporate stints, I was national sales training manager, no? Of both, I'll mention the company na rin, both Colgate, Palmolive, and Coca-Cola, no? So, I think that's where I realized that I love training, I love facilitation, and seeing people, benefit from training skills session. So, and now a lot of them have no grown in their careers, no. In fact, yung iba nga doon, GMs na, no. So you feel parang it's like a feeling of a professor or a teacher, no, when your students actually surpass you somewhere along the way. So I guess that's where I get my passion and my love for training and teaching. Yeah.
Ayan. Actually, Ian, we have lots of students watching us, and I included them parang in this session because I do believe na, 'di ba? Hindi naman necessarily you're a professional for you to be mastering business presentations, 'di ba? Nagkataon yan
Right.
lang siguro yung title natin.
Right.
Pero
No, as I was saying, no, you're right. No, in fact, yung mga ituturo natin tonight is very applicable. Whether you're in business, or you're in corporate, or maybe you're presenting something and trying to convince your spouse or partner on something.
oh,
So very wide yung benefit na itong pag-usapan natin tonight. And I know a lot of people are watching, no, around the world. I think you almost have 400 attendees. So I'll try to speak mostly in English, but forgive me if I do Taglish once in a while. Medyo mahirap pag-English 100%, no. But just to go back to your question also kanina, no, thanks to what I said, no, thanks for the invite. I know this has been rescheduled at least 3 times, di ba? Dapat to January pa natin gagawin, but
oo.
I always believe there's a reason for things that happen to us in life, no? And I'm very honored and happy to do this tonight with you and Raymond kasi alam natin merong very, very important reason why we're doing this tonight, no, Joe Mark?
Yep. Yeah, and I do believe Raymond, are you okay now?
Yes,
Yes,
Raymond.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry for the technical difficulty, no. Baka down yung PLDT sa area. Anyway, yeah, of course, I agree with with Ian. There's always a reason for whatever is happening around us, and I think it is also the best time because we're doing this for a cause, no. other than of course educating and helping our audience, no, on how to better present. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm curious. Have you both met already each other in person?
Once,
Once, yes.
once pa lang.
Once pa lang, Mark.
Yeah, just a few months ago, no, after mag alert level 1, no, Raymond, no, tama ba? We met with Sibyl
Ah,
as well.
Oo.
okay. Oo. So for me pala, hoping I get to meet you both in person
Oh, I'm
pala.
sure soon. I'm sure soon.
Yes, yes, soon. Yes, for sure. Matter of when.
Ayan. And yeah, I do believe something came up. I'm not fully aware with what happened, but our dearest friend, Virginia Bautista, I don't know what happened. Can you shed some light, Ian and Raymond, what happened and why are we doing this?
So I'll share what I know.
Yeah.
But Verniel, Virginia's daughter, I think is also watching, which is great. No, hi Verniel. We were supposed to have this LinkedIn local, Raymond and I and Mr. Francis Kong last Saturday, no? Tama ba? Last Saturday, Raymond, right? And unfortunately, we had to cancel the last minute. We all thought that it was just a technical glitch, no, and everything. But apparently, sadly, we found out that Virginia was rushed to the hospital pala.
Mm,
So because of brain aneurysm, and our dear friend had two surgeries just in the past few days. The good thing is it's been successful, but she's still in recovery mode. No, she's not yet out of the woods. So that's what I know, and we've offered tonight for those viewers. Hindi naman po to sa pilitan, but if you have, we ask your kindness and generosity if you could, donate to support our dear friend in her expenses for the ano, no, for her recovery. So praying for her full recovery. What I heard latest from Verniel is she's doing okay naman, but she can't really move pa, but she can open her eyes na. But really, really praying hard. And thank you in advance sa mga tutulong po at magsusupport. And I think you're gonna flash numbers mamaya, Joe Mark, no? So that's all I know for now. I don't know if Raymond has any additional info lang.
Actually, that's also what I know, no, because we belong in one common group ni Ian, and yeah, I think more than anything else, no, it's really our prayers, no, that our friend really needs right now. Of course, yung financial donation, no, it's voluntary naman, so any amount, no, there's no small or big amount, no, because if you pull everything together, sobrang laking tulong na yun, no? And we know that the expenses also for this kind of situation is not a joke, di ba? Parang you really need to gather a sum of money to to pay for the bills. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. When I heard the news, I got scared, because previously I've heard about a TikToker. She's young. I think she's below 25, and unfortunately she did not made it. So I guess it's the same with Miss V. Kaya I'm very very worried for her. And I guess sa lahat din ng nagmamahal kay Miss V has been, I guess we do it so she's that type of person. So and happily to give us more updates, let's say good evening to Miss Verniel, her daughter. Hi Verniel.
Hi, Verniel. Thanks
Good
for
Hi,
evening,
joining us.
Berniel.
hi, good evening. Good evening po. Hello. Sorry
Yes,
Yep,
we
yep.
ha,
can
I'm
hear
not sure
you.
if
Yeah,
nasa
we can
lobby
hear
po.
you. Thanks for
Oh, you can
joining
hear
us.
me. Okay, great.
Clearly.
Okay po. Okay po.
Yeah, what
Maki-everything
happened?
kasi medyo mababagal din kami. Ayun nga po, last week, nag-faint po si Miss Virginia. Like, she's doing well that night, that day, and then she fainted. And then she was unconscious for over 30 minutes. Um, Ayun po, and then we found out it was brain aneurysm. Apparently, may pumutok na daw po ng ugat sa brain niya. Tapos, she needs immediate surgery kasi nagsistart na rin daw mag-water yung sa brain niya, ganun. And, ayun po. So, na-confine po siya agad nun. So, we had like, um, she stayed sa ICU po agad nun kasi like, immediate na po siyang kailangan um, bantayan doon and operahan. Ah, yun po. Yung operation po matagal eh. Normally, yung operation po na gagawin dapat is like 3 to 5 hours. Yung sa kanya, it took over 10 hours kasi there are other complications that happened as well. Pero ngayon naman po, okay na po yung dalawang operation niya. And thankfully po, it was successful. Um, ayun nga po. And gusto ko lang din po mag-thank you sa lahat ng nag-share ng news, nag-support, and those who helped us out, even financially din po kasi it was
Yeah.
really a huge amount rin po na we had to put out and hindi po rin namin alam saan kami hanap nun. But like, I'm really thankful rin po for everyone that helped us, reached out, shared the news, the message, and yung mga nag-donate po. It actually made the operation possible rin po. Like, na hindi na po, basta it was a huge help po. Kaya, yun po. Thank you po. Yun po pala, status niya po ngayon, she's still in ICU. Yung surgeon niya po, nakausap po namin kanina. Successful po yung sa brain surgery niya. Like, on track po yung healing niya. Ngayon lang po kasi she's having difficulty sa huminga kasi nagka-pneumonia po siya ngayon. Kaya yung breathing niya bumabagal and it's affecting her. It's giving her headaches po, ganun. Tapos, ayun. Pero she's able to open her eyes. Nag, she's attempting to speak nga po eh. Like, sometimes I hear her like, yung sa hininga niya po, ganun. Pero, yun nga po, ayaw din po namin siyang mag-effort pa muna. Pero, at least po na, yun na lang po yung binabantayan na mawala yung sa pneumonia niya para continuous na po yung healing niya. So, yun po. Thank you. And thank you for this po pala. Ayun.
Yep. That's very, very serious.
Please send her our best, Verniela, in case you get to speak to her and tell her we're all praying and for her full recovery.
Yes po, will do po. Thank you po. Thank you po sa prayers, sa help. Lahat po, it's really a huge help po for mom's recovery din po. And for our fam din po. Yeah. So,
Yes.
thank you po.
Siguro ano lang, no, if I may share, I think this is really what the essence of having a community is about, no? Especially yung LinkedIn community, di ba? So we help each other, no? Kahit kanino naman, I think mangyari to, no? Of course, ganito rin yung magiging response natin. So I hope this will further strengthen that community that we're trying to build amongst each other.
Yep.
Yep.
And I felt that as well. Miss Virginia started out LinkedIn local community. Ano naman eh, its sole purpose was to help each other, 'di ba? To be a blessing to each other. It was never for financial gain. So I'm very very thankful and very happy na yan that we get to have this community, and I hope this will inspire us to do the same na like what Miss Virginia uh, did. Okay, let me just I guess let's have a 5-second silence. I'm going to be flashing the details for those who are very generous enough to give donations. So again, feel free to reach out to Verniel. Let me just, I'm gonna be pasting down the link, her LinkedIn profile. Okay, so once more, feel free to reach out to Verniel, and yeah, praying for the best, and yeah, hoping to see Miss Virginia very very healthy. Ayan. Okay, so once more, thank you, Verniel, for the updates. And yeah, hoping to see you, I guess, and your mom soon. And keep in touch po. Thank you, Miss Verniel.
Thank you.
Ayan, hi. Napatahimik ako.
I'm sure now. I'm sure she's gonna do better. Yeah. So let's all pray for her.
Yeah.
Thanks Raymond and Jomar for your time din tonight. Sana mo
Of
nag-starting to
course.
link in
Of
local
course.
PH and the top 100 Filipinos, no, for the members of the top 100 and for those who've heard, no. Virginia was the creator of that.
Yeah, yeah. And same like you, I've been in talks to her with plans then on how we can serve more people. Uh, I guess challenges ahead. I get we will definitely overcome uh this one. Okay. So once more we will be flashing the details on how we can support Miss Virginia ayan later, but moving on, let's be a blessing once more. This time Sir Ian sharing to us his tips on uh how to do an awesome business presentation. So adding your slides, Sir Ian. So once more to our dearest audience, encouraging everyone to ask questions. This is not a conversation between the three of us. So highly hoping for your inputs as well, your thoughts. Comment them down. Take it away, Sir Ian.
All right. So let's start now. Thanks for your time, for guys, for waiting. I'll try to briefly go through my background and then I'll go straight to the subject matter. No. Briefly, trying my career background. I worked in the following companies you see on your screen. In fact, Raymond is my. We worked together in Jollibee. Now Raymond is back in Jollibee. I used to be with Colgate Palmolive Philippines and then spent 1 year in Colgate Palmolive Russia, Coca-Cola, and then GSK, Mundi Pharma, and currently in Sanofi, where I am the sales director for consumer healthcare. So let me just go to my next slide. So these are the brands I've handled and managed, mostly FMCG, some pharma, and a lot of the things I'll talk about tonight is sort of a combination of what I've learned over the last 3 decades. I won't tell you what my age is, but you can compute. All right. I also taught once in UP. I graduated in UP, both my BSBA and my master's from the University of the Philippines. I tried teaching at the UP School of Business. I'll probably teach after my corporate career is over. I was once a consultant at Sensei Business Academy of Management and Fielders, where I taught the following courses: key account management, distributor sales management, effective business reviews, developing the high performer and influencer in you. So parang basically sales and leadership courses, no? And currently I'm a partner speaker and trainer with Boris Joaquin's Breakthrough Leadership Management Consultancy. But if you notice of my slides with the IMS Learning and Consulting, that's my own gig. That's my advocacy and my also my pet project. You know. So let's go straight to the meat, no? So what are the keys ba to presenting like a pro? No, I say pro because when you work, and I'll talk about the ideas, the themes that I talk about is both applicable to face and Zoom meetings. No, so most of them, some of them are not, but most of them. No, so I'm gonna talk about what are the three C's of presentations. No, confidence, clarity, credibility. Some professor preparation tips. How do you engage your audience with impact, no? So you leave a mark, di ba? How do you connect with the audience, no? Parang di boring yung presentation mo, no? Very important, very basic, but very important. Ano ba yung do's and don'ts on proper posture and movements? Okay? So let me start with the 3 C's. This is what I call 3 C's of an effective presentation, no? First is you have to come up as very confident, no? Kasi if you don't come out as confident, that you will come off as you don't know what you're talking about. And a huge part of being believable when you present or capturing the hearts and mind of your audience is to know the subject matter you're talking about and be confident. No, just like what I'm talking about tonight. No, I wouldn't feel confident to talk about this if I hadn't done it myself. No, I've done countless presentations. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are watching right now. No, but sometimes you get to forget the basics that of what really makes a presentation impactful. Clarity. How do you deliver your presentation? Yes, you may know your subject matter, you may know your presentation, uh, content, but are you able to present it clearly? Diba? Naintindihan ba ng audience mo yung sinasabi mo? Or is the message conveyed in a clear and clear and concise manner, no? Are you able to connect with your audience, no? Yes, you may be confident, you may be clear on how you present your ideas and presentation, but baka mamaya you don't connect with them. They don't feel you as a presenter. So parang hindi kasi pag ganun, the messaging might not sink into them, no? So you have to keep in mind that you also need to connect with them or establish some sort of a relationship when you're presenting, no? So when you're presenting, you have to think of yourself as like in a stage. Whether you like it or not, people are looking at your every move you make, no? Parang kanta, no? Every move you make, every step you take. But that's the reality, no? Every eye movement, every hand movement, every single move you actually make on stage is being watched. So sometimes if you move too much, you distract the audience from the subject matter. So make sure you don't move too much. You just move the right pace, no? For example, di ba, sometimes I move my hands, but di ba may mga ibang presento na parang ganun ng ganun the whole time, nakaka-distract na yon. You focus on the hands versus focusing on what he or she is saying, no? So keep in mind that every time you present, whether you like it or not, you're on a stage. So you have to be conscious of what you say, how you look, and what you do. And we'll talk more about that in a while. So ito na yon. So three key aspects when you're presenting. Always remember your eyes, your voice, and your body. So ano ibig sabihin nito? If I ask a question, for example, and I know there's a 30-second delay, Joe Mark, so maybe we'll wait a bit, no? What is most important among the three for you to create the most impact when you convey your message? Diba?
Raymond,
Ano sa tingin
what's
nyo?
your
Sige,
thoughts on this?
natin ano. Hula lang, hula.
Hula.
Hula lang. But there's an answer. It's not
Meron.
everything
The
naman,
next
no?
slide. Hindi yan trick question.
Okay.
May
I think
sagot lang
I think words. Sorry, voice,
Okay.
voice.
Voice, Joe Mark.
Pwede ba dalawa? 2 and 3?
Ito lang.
Ay, isa lang.
Choose one.
Same with Raymond, I think the tone of your voice. Diba?
Sige, let's see the answer, ha. So, wala lang yung chart, no? Actually, yun yung second best answer. Yung answer yung dalawa, no? The thing that creates most impact to what you're saying is how you look in general, di ba? Yung general perception sa'yo, ano itsura mo ba? Do you look clean, confident, neat, believable, trustworthy? Versus having a very good voice, commanding voice, but you look, you don't look professional. Or maybe yung suot mo, medyo may dumi-dumi. Or mukha ka hindi naligo. Di ba? Surprisingly, and this is based on research, your words are just 7% of the impact, no? Di ba sometimes naririnig natin, it's not what you say, but how you say it. Tama naman din yon. But actually, it's not what you say, but it's not what you say, but how you say it and how you look like when you're saying it. Yun yung buong story nun. So keep that in mind whenever you're making a presentation to whoever, especially if the audience is very, very important audience, like maybe your boss or your boss's boss, or you're making a pitch for an investor to your potential investor to your business, no? Or even if you're asking your husband or wife for permission to go out with the girls or the boys this weekend, no? So, actually, what I'm talking about nga dito, pwedeng professional, pwedeng personal, no? You have to look believable, no? And trustworthy. Uh, so, I hope that we all remember that whenever we make presentations.
So bro Ian,
Okay.
does it have
Sure.
something to do with with yung first impression? Kasi for example, kung virtual, di ba? Parang the first thing that they will notice will be how you look even before you talk. So parang ano yung whatever perception they get from that, parang it already either builds your credibility or somehow destroys it. Parang either lang yan of the two, right?
Most definitely, Raymond, no? Di ba sinasabi nga nila, first impressions last, meaning to say, for some people, whatever the first presentation they get of you, hindi mo na siya mababago. You can't anymore change it. So it's very important that when you're meeting someone important, especially for the first time, you try to create that first good impression, no? By how you look, especially if it's a formal or a business meeting, no? Kasi even if you talk in a very good manner, in a very professional manner, your voice sounds confident. But if you don't look like a professional, then you're not believable and you won't look trustworthy. So definitely, Raymond, first impressions last in this case, especially if you're presenting to an audience you don't know and you're seeing for the very first time. No, most especially for
Yeah.
us speakers and trainers. That's di ba? We speak to audiences
Yep.
whom we haven't even met before. So very very important.
Yeah.
Ayan.
Sa,
Ian, may
sa
I...
corporate ka, no?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead,
Go ahead.
Jomar.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yep.
bro.
May I add, kanina kasi 3 hours ago, I made a call to someone. Parang I feel this is relatable din to your LinkedIn profile. I made a call to someone asking him to be our sharer din like you, Ian and Raymond.
Right.
And then I get to see his LinkedIn profile, and i- parang tama, it relates to your LinkedIn profile. What I saw in his profile picture is he wearing a t-shirt, and on the background are banana trees.
Parang
Okay,
pang
and then
Facebook,
he's offering...
Facebook yata dapat yun, pang
Oh,
Facebook.
yeah, yun, oh. And then he's offering professional graphic logo design. So I hope he's watching. I hope he's learning something here tonight. And I guess may I relate it din, Ian and Raymond, to may mga kabataan kasing nanonood, no? Malaming sa kabataan ngayon aspiring to be a YouTuber. And it's the same, I guess, na when they say about thumbnails. Kasi it's the thing that gives you the first impression to your videos.
Right.
Ayan, so how a video initially looks, that's your thumbnail. So I guess in a way related, may na i-relate tayo at natutunan with regards
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
how it
I think
looks.
I think what you said is very relevant, no? Especially for HR, and Raymond will agree with me on this, no? Nowadays, di ba, before people from HR even call you up, they try to look you up on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah.
or any other social media. So keep that in mind, no? Especially if LinkedIn ang titingnan nila, do you actually look like someone they would like to hire and will be a good part of their culture? So be very, very careful what you put out there, especially if they haven't met you yet in person. Because first impressions last, sabi nga ni Raymond. No?
True.
Yeah. It all boils down sa sa branding din, no? Kasama rin 'yun. So,
Right.
I agree, no? Parang your branding will catch the attention. But ang question lang doon is, anong klaseng pag-catch ng attention yung magagawa mo? Is it on the positive or on the negative? Of course, dapat sa positive.
Exactly. So be very careful with what pictures you post on Facebook, especially if you're looking for a job right now. That's my tip. Okay. Sige. Shall we move on? Okay. So we talked about some of these things earlier. No, you have to look professional, confident, and people who are confident presenting prepared very well. So ano ba mga pre-presentation tips ko na mabibigay based on my experience? Number one, have a good night's sleep before the day of your presentation. Because if you have a good sleep, then you will look well rested, your mind is well rested, and your body is well rested. You probably will not forget what you need to talk about, and you will come off as a very fresh and energetic person. Number two, if you're really afraid of presenting, which everybody is naman at some point or another, no, even myself, even now at my point in my career, if I'm presenting to the boss of the boss of the boss, may konting kaba pa rin yan eh. Make sure you prepare well by practicing your slides. Diba? Wag kayong, kasi may mga tao magaling mag-guido, di ba? No, kaya-kaya ko to, I've been doing this for decades. No? But actually, that's not the right mindset. No, no matter how expert you are in presentations, you have to study, practice presenting your slides, especially if it's a very important audience that you're presenting to. And that will also give you some sort of insurance. Halimbawa, magka-problema yung iyong presentation deck kung Zoom meeting yan. Di ba? Alam mo pa rin kung ano pag-usapan in a way, di ba? Hindi yung ano nga ba susunod na slide dito o what is it that I need to ask or convey, no? So, make sure you practice your slides, practice your presentations. And one of my mentors in the past told me, no, pag talagang kinakabahan ka pa bago presentation mo, 10 minutes before, take a quick walk, have a mindfulness walk, take breathing exercises, drink water, whatever relaxes you, you do it. So that when you do present, mas confident ka na, mas relax. So those are some tips that I can share, no, with you guys. Make sure that you're engaging, no. When you're presenting, people have seen so many presentations in their lifetime, especially pag sa office. Can you imagine the number of presentations a boss have seen during the week or the day? Kung hindi ka engaging, hindi magsistick yung presentation sa mind ng tao na pinipresenta mo, no? You have to have energy. Don't read your slides, di ba? Make sure you don't read your slides. You just use your slides as sort of a guide. But have the energy. Be conscious that you're coming up as an energetic person. Hindi naman kailangan super energy, but at least yung positive energy ba, di ba? When you are confident, when you look confident, when you're engaging, yung trustworthiness level mataas. Kasi nakita lang, alam mo pinagsasabi mo, di ba? So they will trust you. The more, and diba, sinasabi natin dito, the more confident and professional you look like, or you look, the more people will trust what you're saying, and the more people will trust you. Okay? So very, very important, going back to what I said, how you look creates the most impact.
Awesome.
Now, the average human, and these are not made up numbers, these based from research, processes information 10 times faster than people speaks 125 words per minute on the average. Some are faster, some are slower, but we can only hold 7 distinct thoughts in our head at any given point in time. Hindi natin kaya mag-multitasking as much as we feel that we are multitasking. So hence, we have short-term memory. Hence, when we present something, we need to make sure that, and I'll talk more about this later, no? Don't fill up your slides with too many words. Don't fill up your, if you can say if you can share your thought or you can make your point in one sentence, don't use 5 sentences. Diba? The shorter, the better. If you can say it with less than 10 words, use 10 words. Don't use 20 words. Concise, direct is better than longer and going around the bush, beating around the bush, okay? Now, presentation skills is also all about how do you control your nervousness, what kind of eye contact do you make or how you make the eye contact, what kind of posture or movement you do, what gestures you do, and your vocal skills, di ba? So, I hope my voice is coming off as a bit confident kahit pa paano because hindi ako present ko pa naman how to present, no? But so I hope my voice is coming off as in a way that I do look like I know what I'm saying.
Yes, it is commanding.
Okay. Again, iba yung commanding sa mayabang or arrogant, guys.
Yep.
Let's make sure na you don't come off as an arrogant speaker or a too shy na speaker. Yung tama lang, sa gitna lang, no? Confident but not arrogant. It's different. So let me share some tips on controlling. Kung bawa ninenervyos ka, di ba? Nakakita na ba kayo ng speaker na kinakabahan na para siyang tiger na pa lakad-lakad, left, right, front, back, yung di mapakali? Kasi ibig sabihin nun ninenervyos siya, no? That's a sign of being nervous. when you can't stay on your place. Pagalaw-galaw ka. How to control it? Try to be conscious, stand still, stop walking, limit your movement. Diba? Kasi you can be distracting to the audience. Imagine if you're on the stage, palipat-lipat ka ng ano. Diba? Even the best, watch the best speakers on TEDx, diba? They don't really move that much. If they walk at all or move at all, konti lang, and very, very timed yung kanilang movement based on the point they want to make. Okay, so well practiced siya. Looking stiff. So, yes, hindi okay yung galaw ka ng galaw, but hindi rin okay yung mukha ka lang ano doon. I had a boss, we had a presentation one time to a boss of my boss, and there was a question that we all could not answer. No, sabi niya, although hindi maganda example, but she said, why are you all not answering? You all look like furniture there. You're not moving at all. So don't look like a furniture, di ba? Wag naman yung hindi ka gumagalaw. At least use some hand gestures when you're presenting, right? Running late in your presentation, the best way to prevent it is to be early. When you have a presentation, like for example, when I have a presentation, I try to be set up, whether it's on Zoom or face-to-face. Kung face-to-face, at least 1 hour before nandun na ako. Lalo na kung baka training session, I try to set up everything 1 hour kasi marami kang mga, you have to check the equipment, right? The projector, the laptop, the seating arrangement, etc. If you have a Zoom meeting, I try to be there 5 to 10 minutes early, especially if the audience is very important, no? But always try to be early. Wag yung eksakto lang. That's why my tip also when you're scheduling meetings, try not to, try to put 5 to 10 minutes or even 15 minutes between meetings in your calendar so that you have time to, go out, walk around. Diba, this past 2 years, we've been at home working. It's only now that the economy is opening up and we're going back to the office, diba? But I use that 15 minutes to actually walk out, get some fresh air, get water, go to the restroom, and then I come back fresh again when I present in my next meeting. So something for you to think about. Be prepared. Talking too fast. Am I talking too fast or too slow, Raymond and John Mark? Okay lang.
Just right.
Just right. Okay. So if you're talking too fast, if you're the type, kasi diba, there are people who really talk too fast. And you are most likely, naman if you're that type of person, no? If you know that you're the type of person who talks too fast, when you're presenting to a large audience especially, try to focus on each word you say. Diba? Parang ganon. Parang intentionally bagalan mo. Focus on each word. Yan. Parang an example ko lang yan. Talking too loudly. Diba? We all know people who don't need a mic when they're presenting in front of an audience. Diba? Para sila may megaphone sa kanilang voice. What you do is you ask the person nearest you, if you're presenting to somebody or even on Zoom, ask them, am I talking too loud? Diba tinanong ko kanina si Raymond at si Joe Mark, am I talking too fast, too slow? And now, I'm gonna ask you now, am I talking too loud or too low? Okay lang ba?
Yep, tama lang, bro.
Pwede sabihin yung totoo, Okay lang. Okay, sige. Kasi I'm gonna adjust depending on what you say. Alright. Talking too softly. Talk to the person farthest from you if you're in a room. Ask him or her, okay lang ba yung boses ko dyan? Naririnig mo ba ako? Masyado bang malakas? Masyado mahina? You actually ask the audience when you're presenting. Don't assume. Diba? Kasi when you assume, most likely you might not be right. So better to ask people. Shortness of breath, like me. I usually have this because I have asthma. No? When I feel shortness of breath, just like right now, I try to deep breathly. Okay, before I go to my next slide. So be conscious of these techniques, no? I am short of breath not because I'm nervous, but because I have asthma. But if you're nervous but if you have a shortness of breath because you're nervous, then you try to take a deep breath or two. Does that help, Joe Mark, Raymond?
Yes, actually, yung breathing, no? I think you mentioned earlier, Ian, even prior to the start of your presentation, parang you do breathing exercise, no? I do yung square breathing. So very helpful siya. Parang every 5-second interval, parang you're like forming a square in your mind, and then it helps calm your nerves, no? Sobrang nakatulong ako yun.
Kasi you need more oxygen pag you're nervous, di ba? You try to, for your heartbeat to go back to normal, you need to get more oxygen inside your system. Parang gano'n, no? Alright. Sige, back to my deck, Mr. Joe Mark. Okay, eye contact. Let's talk about eye contact, no? Di ba naalala nyo kanina, di ba? How you look, your words, your voice. Di ba? Important din yung yung eye contact, no? So, when you're presenting in front of an audience, try to maintain meaningful eye contact. You know, kasi it's a key component of trust eh. Ano ibig sabihin ng meaningful eye contact? Nakakita na ba kayo ng mga presenters who look at the ceiling when they talk? Or they look at the floor when they talk? Or they just look at their laptops?
Yes.
Remember kanina, di ba, no? I said we need to have an engagement, establish a relationship with the audience. The best presenters, the best speakers are able to establish a good relationship or engage the audience by looking them in the eye. Hindi naman yung tititigan mo nang nakakatakot, di ba? But tipong 1-2 seconds, and lipat ka ng konti. Pansinin mo yung mga magaling na speakers dyan. Let's talk about Francis Kong, for example. I've attended one of his seminars, di ba? When Francis Kong talks to you, presents to a big audience, kahit daan-daan pa yan, kung nasa bandang harap ka, or even if nasa likod ka, no, one of his key strength is you feel that he's talking to you. Tama ba? Parang you can relate kasi he's talking to you, feeling mo nakakausap ka na kahit ang layo mo. And he really makes good eye contact sa mga tao, especially within his eyesight, no. In our training sessions, we have train the trainer sessions on business presentation skills, no. It's better to make sure that you have we call it a star pattern. So when you're in a room, imagine you're in a room of 25 people. Imagine an imaginary star. You start with the top of the star, look at the person, maybe 1, 2, 3 seconds max. Then you go back down, 2, 3 seconds while you're talking, and then go here. Gawa ka ng imaginary star. Why a star? Because a lot of people across the room will feel that you're talking to them, and they will be able to relate to you, and it's like you're engaging with them. Diba? So we call it the star technique. So yeah, that's a key technique that we teach people we're teaching how to become presenters or facilitators. And I'm pretty sure some of you listening now know it, no? Use a sweeping eye gaze to take the whole room, no? So you do the star pattern, but from time to time, imagine yourself doing di ba sa cellphone natin, a panoramic picture ba tawag doon? Panorama, di ba? Gagawin mo yung camera mo, di ba? So imagine yourself doing that, but with your eye, di ba? Let's say I'm talking to you right now. There are several ways of presenting, and very important to have eye contact whenever you're talking to your audience. Kita niyo yung ulo gumaganon. Pero dahan-dahan lang, di kayo mukhang camera gumaganon. Because
parang robot, na.
Okay naman, parang robot. Okay, what happens when you do that, people around the room can see you looking at them, kahit malayo ba, na hindi ka lang nakafocus sa nasa harapan mo. Diba? So it helps establish a relationship with the whole audience. People want to feel special and connected with you, diba? Especially if they get you for a speaking engagement, diba? They pay for you. Tapos hindi mo na sila pinapansin. You don't want audiences to feel as if hindi naman ako pinansin yung speaker, yung kausap lang yung nasa harapan niya, diba? Kasi may mga ganun na yung hindi marunong ng eye contact. That's how important effective eye contact is. When you are on Zoom, do not look at your screen. Look at the camera if you want to establish eye contact. Tama ba? Have you seen people on Zoom meetings looking and reading their slides instead of looking at the camera like this? Kasi pag nakatingin ka sa camera, ang tingin sa'yo ng mga tao na Zoom, nakatingin ka sa kanila. Like what we're doing right now, we're on Zoom. So if I look at the camera here, Raymond and Joe Mark, and hopefully you guys watching, feel that I'm looking at you. Okay? So that's a reminder for me as well. All right. Posture, movement, and interaction. A couple of more slides, no? When you present with a strong stance. Ano ba yung strong stance? Feet and shoulder width apart while standing. Parang ano yan yung kung gaano kalapad yung shoulder mo, yung feet, yung legs mo ganun din. Parang steady ka, strong ka. Parang yung tao dyan sa picture, di ba? Huwag yung naka-slant ka or nakatayo ka na with one leg. Alam mo yun, di ba? Yung parang di straight. Straight legs, medyo nakahiwalay ng konti yung mga ano, yung inyong mga legs. Parang strong stance siya. Head up, back straight. So you look confident, you look like someone who knows what he's talking about, right? Make sure you can be seen, especially on camera. Meron na ba kayong makita ng present sa Zoom na naka-on ang camera pero hindi nyo makita yung mukha? Di ba? Although, unless nagpaalam sa inyo na, okay, sorry, I can't show myself because hindi pa ako naliligo. Di ba? Yung mga ganun, di ba? Or talagang mahihiyain, or maybe yung baby niya, karga niya, so siya nahihiya. But other than that, kung nakabukas ang camera mo, make sure nakikita ka nila. So you practice looking at the screen kung kita ba ako. Like when we did yesterday, parang ano tawag dito, run through ni Jomar, di ba? Nesting mo muna ba itsura ko sa camera? Jomar, okay ba itong background na to, di ba? You practice, especially when you're in Zoom, no? Personal connection and movement increases brain memory. The more people relate to you, the more you create a relationship with them and engage with them, the more they will remember what you are saying. So that's how important it is. Tips on effective gestures. Let your hands do the talking. Sometimes kasi pangit yung nakatayo ka lang and people are looking at your face lang, no? Kasi when you use your gestures in your hands, like what I'm doing, I don't know if you see it on the screen, no? It's more natural, you feel more relaxed, and sometimes you can make a point, no? One of the things that I was taught by one of my old mentors before is try not to do this, no, yung pointing fingers, kasi it doesn't, it's not good. It doesn't, parang you come across as someone who's dictating or hindi maganda yung pointing to the audience, no? Doesn't look good and they should not do that.
Tsaka sa ibang culture, parang negative. It denotes something negative, yeah.
Offensive.
You're right, Mark, no? I forgot which culture, but especially when you're presenting to a multicultural audience, no? Ang tip ko sa inyo, pag-aralan niyo yung kanilang culture. Ano ba yung okay sa kanilang hand gestures, anong hindi, no? There was this one training we conducted in China. There was a game, and then merong to separate the teams, we gave them different colors of hats. Merong green hat team, red hat team, and black hat team. Now we saw people laughing about the people wearing a green hat. I don't know if I got the color right, I think it's green, no? And then me and my co-facilitator later found out, bakit pinagtatawanan yung mga na-green? Sa China pala, when you're wearing a green hat, ang ibig sabihin nun, under ka sa asawa mo. So pinagtatawanan nila yung mga lalaki na nakasuot ng green cap. So things like that, no? It may seem so trivial, but when you're presenting to a multicultural audience, you need to make sure you research about your audience so that you don't, don't go against their culture or maybe their religion, especially, di ba? Be careful with the words you choose, the actions you take, and the exercises you execute. Kasi iba-iba eh. Sa ating Pinoy, practically anything goes naman sa atin. But sa ibang culture, very sensitive sila, di ba? So, yan. Make your gestures natural. Use it to emphasize. Don't use it too much. Keep gestures above the waist. Medyo weird kasi yung kamay mo nasa below the waist, no? Dapat above the waist para kita nung audience mo, especially when you're on Zoom. Use open hands. Yung mga nagrepresent na closed fist, they come across as very it's too strong, parang para siyang dictator, parang very hard ang dating. Mas maganda yung open, no? When you use open hands, it's like you're inviting the audience to listen to you, relate to you, no?
Or hands in the pocket, ayan.
Ayan,
yun pala.
Naisip na ni Jomar, sasabihin ko. When you are presenting, especially if you have a car, try to take out your car keys and put it somewhere, no? And don't put coins, no? Minsan nakakita ako ng presenter parang merong caroling na nangyayari, di ba? Daming bariya, daming mga kung ano-ano, susi, mga keys. It doesn't sound good and look good. Kasi di ba some presenters, di ba, they put their hands in their pocket as parang a matter of habit. Kung maraming laman yan, lalaruin mo talaga yung laman ng bulsa mo eh. And that has happened so many times. No? So my tip for presenters, especially if it's a business presentation, do not put anything in your pocket if you're male or even a female. Kung may pocket yung suot mo, no? Don't play with a marker, pencil, whatever, no? Hanap ako ng pencil dito sa tabi ko. Or glass na lang, wala akong pencil, di ba? Diba? Minsan nagpe-present, hawak ako sa salamin, etc., etc. Nakaka-distract sa audience yon. Diba? Make sure you don't hold. Ang sakit ng mga trainers, minsan yung pen, pagkasulat nila sa whiteboard or sa flip chart, they hold the pen the whole time. Diba? Ganon, diba? It's distracting to the audience. So be very conscious of what's in your hands. Dapat walang naman yung kamay mo, no? Para professional ang dating. Playing with your hair or jewelry, especially for the ladies. I'm pretty sure a couple of you here are guilty with that. Do not play with your hair or your jewelries while presenting. So next time you watch a presentation, tingnan nyo kung hilig na laruin. Yung kanilang bang buhok, ginaganon-ganon, or yung kanilang mga earrings, nilalaro. So the tip is, do not wear jewelry kung hindi mo mapigilan sarili mo. Try not to wear jewelry when you're presenting, especially if you're a female. Diba? Take out the risk. Diba? Kasi distracting siya sa audience. Ating shaking a pointed finger. Ito pala, it's condescending and too aggressive. That's why I mentioned kanina, do not use a pointed finger when you're talking. No? You look like one of the old dictators in the past days. No? Voice quality, again, not too loud, not too soft. Inflection of the voice, yung tone inflection. Alam mo yung inflection, di ba yung taas-baba? Importante siya para you don't sound too boring. Especially if you're making a point, like for example, voice quality is very important. Yan, di ba? May konting intonation. Except, hindi yung voice quality is very important, but di ba parang robot. Put some intonation when you speak. Pace should not be too fast, not too slow. Remember that the human voice is not separate from the person. It is you. What your voice is, that's how you come off when you're presenting. So very important you have a commanding voice in a way na you control the room, that people listen to you. Diba? Once you see the people, nakita na ba kanyang presentation? Have you seen a presentation where someone's presenting, then people are talking on the side, maybe exchanging notes, playing with their phones, doing some gossip? That means the presenter has not captured the audience kasi hindi siya pinakikinggan. And maybe it has something to do with your voice, maybe, or other things that you may be doing that's distracting the audience. Maybe you become too boring, maybe you're not too engaging, diba? Maybe you're not looking at them, so they're not looking at you as well. So there's so many reasons why an audience is distracted. Make sure it's not because of you, okay? Your voice creates an impression. Again, going back, are you trustworthy? Are you confident? Do you know what you're talking about? Or you don't know what you're talking about, you're too shy or too nervous, diba? Voice is very important. Remember the slide kanina, how you look is 55% of the impact you make, but the voice is 38%. Very important. What you say is only 7%. It's how you say it and how you look like when you say it, remember. Okay, speak with impact. Keep your sentences short and simple. Again, don't complicate things. Use words that are easily understandable. Stress important parts of what you're conveying. Use pauses after each phrase and sentence, no? Especially if you want to make a point. Let's say, for example, kanina sabi ko, we're here because there's an important reason for this, for tonight's webinar.
Yeah.
Pause. And then you talk about it. Diba? It makes your audience focus on what you're going to say next. Tama? So use the power of pause in different parts of your presentation. Huwag naman yung puro ka pause na boring na. No? Make sure you use it very sparsely when you really want to make a point or when you want to capture the audience. No? There was this one trainer who told me rin also, no? Sometimes, kung malakas yung boses mo, kung gusto mong makinig lalo sa'yo, hinaan mo ng konti. Let's say, for example, tonight, we're here because of a very important matter. Di ba? Biglang, makikinig ka lalo sa'yo kasi hindi mo na marinig masyadong sinasabi ko, di ba? So you gain the attention. That's another technique. Another technique is lalakasan mo naman ang boses mo. Tonight, we're here because of a very important reason, di ba? So depending on your style, depending on the audience, if it's on Zoom, if it's face-to-face, you adjust. You have to read the temperature of the room. Usually sa Zoom, kailangan lakasan mo boses mo, di ba? Kasi madaming distraction. If you're in a room with an audience, all you have to do is soften your voice a bit and they will listen to you more. So you adjust depending on where you are.
Iyan, I recall tuloy yung ano, no? Yung Resorts World Manila. Ayan.
Resort World. That's actually a perfect example, no? So,
Di ba?
that's what happened to
Catchy.
Joe. Di ba? Magtataka bakit kaya humihina boses niya? Ano kaya may secret ba siya, di ba? So it's
Mm.
intriguing, di ba? So pwede mong gamitin yung Resource Word Manila pag kailangan mo ng gamitin sa presentation mo. No?
May kalaban yun eh, nakaganon. No?
Anong kalaban? Ay, gano'n.
Nakaganon.
Basta mga
Just kidding.
ating presentation. Okay, this is my final slide actually, and then we open the floor for questions. Ano? When I present or when I ask my team to present something, I always force them. I don't want to see more than 7 to 10 slides. If you could bring it down to 5, great. You know why? They will be forced to put ano ba talaga importante lang. Kasi if you don't give them any limit, they'll come up to you with a 30-slide presentation that could be set in 3 slides. Di ba? So try to limit the number of slides. Agree ba kayo doon?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sobrang nakaka-relate.
Yeah. Use storytelling, di ba? When you're to capture the audience. Watch TEDx talks. There's always a story behind the talk. Tama ba? Because that's what captures the audience eh. It's not just what they say, it's how they say it and the story behind it. Diba? If you really want to make an impact in your presentation, come up with a story that's related to your presentation. Diba? Start strong. Start with something emotional. Let's say, for example, if I'm presenting to a customer no, sa kumpanya, one of our customers, I would probably start by saying, business review siya. I would start by saying, do you guys want to see how we will help you grow your business by 20% next year? That's gonna be my first slide and what I'm gonna say first. Makikinig na sila sa, 20% growth. Who wouldn't like a 20% growth, di ba? And then during the presentation, you have to keep them engaged. You give them snippets of important facts. Do you know that your shoppers really want to see these things in your store, for example? Do you know that online shoppers are captured by promotions and price offs, but however, you can also capture them when you're in store. For example, you offer someone in Lazada or Shopee 30%, but you tell them if you buy this in store, we'll give it an additional 5%, but you have to buy something extra. Yung mga ganon. So within the presentation, meron ka pa rin something to engage, no? And then end impactfully, make the ending memorable. You can commit something like, of course, before you commit, you make sure kaya mong gawin, di ba? We commit, for example, to not just ensure you're gonna grow 20%, but we will make sure that we will start next year strong, even if we end the year strong. So we have a plan to make our business end this year on a high note, but we also have another plan to ensure we have a strong start to next year. And we will talk about that in our next meeting. So start strong, keep the audience engaged in the middle, and you end strong. Don't you think your audience will, remember you, diba? Yung presentation mo. So always think about it when you're making presentations. How do you start strong, end strong, and talk about something important in the middle? Not too long. Lesser slides, the better. The lesser time, the better. If you can do the meeting in less than 30 minutes or 30 minutes max, that's the best, no? Huwag hindi na uso yung mga 1 to 2 hour meetings eh. Lalo na sa Zoom, no? I challenge my team, for example, let's have a 15-minute meeting. Kung di kaya 30 minutes, but not more than 30 minutes. If you want to talk, if you want to give me more information, just send it to me via email as a pre-read. And then we can spend the presentation deciding on important things, not analyzing. We decide. Yung mga analysis, padala nyo na sa akin para lahat tayo nagre-review before the meeting. So something like that. Okay. Actually, that ends the presentation. And Joe Mark, okay lang ba? I have 2 more slides before I end, then we open the floor for Q&A.
Absolutely.
Okay. For those of you who haven't heard it, we are looking for the top 30, the Philippines top 30 leaders on LinkedIn. The nominations were supposed to end yesterday, but we're extending it today kasi holiday. And we know many people will be online, and hopefully people watching me today or tonight, if you're interested, we want to highlight leaders in the Philippines who in the past 2 years during the pandemic, no, exhibited the values of integrity, malasakit, or concern and caring, courage, inspiration, and resilience. This is actually a project of myself, Anda Goseco, and Virginia Bautista, no? Uh, and we wanna put a spotlight on the world-class Filipino talent because we feel that it's the right time to do this because we talk about leadership nowadays, if you know what I mean, no? Without mentioning politics and all. We need to educate everybody ano bang dapat na leader natin whether at work or at home or outside work. So please do nominate if you know a leader who exhibited these qualities, especially leadership worked with. Please do nominate. We will open the nomination until midnight tonight para lang to capture those who will be interested to nominate today. Last slide, Joe Mark. In connection with this Philippines top 30 leaders, Anda and I are coming up with the top 30 leaders podcast. So it's in the works. Watch out for it. Hopefully, we come up with the first episode within the month. But this is a venue to keep the conversation about leadership, how we continue to share best practices, how we can encourage each other as leaders in the Philippines to even become better. So do watch out for this. So thanks, Joe Mark, for the time for the 2 slides. So I'll open the floor now to any questions that our viewers would have.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just flash it once more. The link for you to nominate is bit.ly. Ayan, PH top 30 leaders on LinkedIn. Okay? As
They could
mentioned
also see.
earlier,
Go
yep,
ahead, go ahead.
before midnight, guys. So
They could
please,
also they could also see the link naman sa LinkedIn pages namin ni Anda, no? So you can find it there. I posted about it today then. So sayang if you know of leaders who could be part of the top 30, please do nominate them.
Yeah, I think this is a very powerful ano no initiative, Ian. So thank you, Ian, and of course si Coach Anda. I think very timely din siya, no, as Ian mentioned. I think it's about time that we rethink, no, what kind of leaders we really want to have in our household. Of course, hindi natin mapili masyado yun, no, pag sa family. Yung, for example, yun nga sa election, di ba? Much as we would like to stay away from that discussion, no, eventually those positions are very important because they will be our national leaders. Ayan.
yeah.
So lastly, Joe Mark, I don't know if you're gonna flash again our reason for being here tonight before we answer some questions, no? Yan. So for those of you who weren't here early on, Verniel, the daughter of Virginia, was here, no? So we really are knocking on the doors of your kind and generous hearts. Whatever amount we'll do, I'm sure it will help the family. We're all doing this as a LinkedIn community, especially as a LinkedIn local PH community, and as a top 100 leader Filipinos on LinkedIn community. Or even if you're not part of that, if you've been touched by Virginia in one way or another with her
Yeah.
initiatives like the most influential Filipino women on LinkedIn, that's also part of her initiative. No, it's time for us to give back. No, she's on the way to recovery, but not yet there. And our hearts and prayers and our thoughts are with Virginia as she, battles. She's in a very, challenging battle of her life. That the best we could do is try to support her through financial means or through our prayers, which is also very important. So thank you in advance to those of you who will be supporting and donating for Virginia's recovery.
Ayan, okay. Someone commented down. Ayan, Sir Raymond Mapalad. These topics actually remind me of a Toastmasters presentation.
Okay. I've always been wanting to be part of that, but never, no, not enough time. But I hope, Raymond, you got some helpful tips. Thank you, Raymond, for that comment.
Yeah, actually, Ian, I had the chance before, parang to be part of a Toastmasters ano, no, club. So parang I
Oh,
attended
nice.
a couple of meetings. It's really very helpful. It will parang push you to actually step out of your comfort zone, no, and maximize your potential as a speaker. So maganda siya, no? It's just that yun nga, medyo yung time lang din talaga yung kalaban natin. But at the end of the day, if you have time, ako, I encourage you to enroll, no, or be part of that group. Of course, practice pa rin. In real
Right.
life situations, yung pinaka-effective. No? And of course, getting feedback and improving from there.
Right. And I think kasi, di ba, one of the most common fears of people, not just Filipinos, is the fear of presenting, eh. Di ba?
Yes.
I was really afraid of presenting during my early days in my career, but I was forced to, you know, overcome my fear because I'm in sales. And I always present to either customers or my bosses, di ba? But I'm glad I overcame my fear because, it helps you become more confident in life as well, di ba, no?
Yeah. Ako din, actually, ano, siguro while naghintay tayo ng question, to be honest, sabi mo nga kanina yan, di ba, even until now, parang you experience nervousness, di ba, some sort of an anxiety, which is, I think it's normal, no? So parang if you're feeling nervous before delivering a presentation or talking, or doing a public speaking stint, no, I think that's normal, no? I think ang importante naman is you continue to move forward, I mean, despite that fear. And of course, you try to manage also yung nervousness na yun. Kasi at the end of the day, ano yan eh, parang physical naman yan eh. Parang that's something that you can mitigate, no, if not eliminate at the most. Parang ganun.
Ayan, question to both of you. Any memorable business or speaking engagement in which you effed up or nagkagulo-gulo or yung mga masayang experience na pumalpak ba or I don't know. Any experience, Ian and Raymond? Fun experience?
Marami kasi, namimili lang ako, dali ah. Baka si Raymond meron na isip agad. Pipiliin ko muna kung i-share ko.
Na may tumalon sa audience bigla, mga ganon. Or
Siguro
nalaglag
ako,
ka
ano,
bigla sa stage.
Go ahead, Raymond. Sige, meron na akong gusto i-share. Sige, Raymond, ka muna.
siguro it's not really, ano naman, it's not funny or what, but it's more of, parang my style of presentation is not parang appropriate for the audience. No? So parang I was new in the company and as an HR, we were trained actually to have this long presentation, especially di ba we cascade policies and all. So parang meron pa kaming context, di ba, yung mga situation or etc. Ang dami naming palabok na before we actually deliver the meat of the message. So apparently, mga executives yung ka-meeting ko, no? And they're not, parang it's not something that, ano, no, na parang they prefer. So what they prefer is that just present to us, for example, an executive summary, and then tell us what you need from us. And then if we have questions, no, all of those information, just put it in the appendices. So ganun lang, no? So sabi ko, okay. So I think, I learned something from that, no? So parang, I didn't find it successful, yes, because of course, I did it differently, no, from what they preferred. But at the end of the day naman, at least I found out what it is that they like. So the next time around, of course, we made adjustment. Yeah. Yun yung naalala
Thank
ko.
you for sharing.
Ako naman i-share ko more of facilitation, flash presenting, no. So I will not mention where I did the presentation kasi but I facilitated and presented in a country outside the Philippines, and we were doing some team exercises, no, but people actually got into it too much, so that so much so na nag-aaway na talaga, no. So it was really kulang na lang talaga parang rumble sa basketball ba, kasi yung halos nagmumurahan na yun, ano, no. It was really chaotic and it was really getting out of hand. And as a facilitator, when you're facilitating a session or presenting, it's also your part, is your responsibility to make sure that doesn't happen, no. So I think what I learned from that situation also was I did not prepare well for the culture of that country that I was presenting or facilitating to. They were very, very competitive, but I kept on giving them competitive exercises. So it only added fuel to the fire. So that's one of my key learnings. No, that's why I mentioned kanina, know your audience. Make sure you tailor fit your material and exercises, whatever it is, to your audience. Because what works in the Philippines, for example, may not work in another country. And that was one of my very memorable experiences. Muntik na magsuntukan talaga, to be honest.
Before anything else, yan, from JM. Are you seeing this, Ian?
Yeah. How to approach po yung medyo arrogant or grudgy executives? Ooh. Have an experience presenting lately. Nakakawala sa plan strategy ko presenting. That's a very real life example, no? So, represent kasi isang mayabang na Tagalog ko lang,
bosses.
mayabang na boss na grudgy. Meaning to say ba yung parang pinagtataniman ka ng sama ng loob? Something like that ba yun? I think something like that. No? So I guess I'm imagining this executive always probably derails your presentation, no? Kumbaga hindi ka pa tapos, tanong na siya ng tanong, no? Or china-challenge ka lagi, no? That's a very difficult situation, number one. What I could share with you is kung alam mo na yung ganun yung magiging audience mo, ganun yung style, you have to do extra homework, no? You have to anticipate the types of questions and challenges that executive is probably going to present to you or to throw at you during the presentation. So anticipation is key. Kumbaga nagpa-practice ka ng mga FAQ, frequently asked questions. And obviously, it's an executive. I'm assuming this is a person higher than you. You have to be, calm as much as you can. Be patient in answering the questions and challenges, and always be respectful. At the end of the day, the best way to manage those kinds of people is not to be like them, diba? In fact, be the opposite of who they are. And that's it. And I know it's not the perfect answer, but based on my experience, that's how I would manage that. At the end of the day, no matter how you prepare, and this is still happening to me right now in my career, no matter how I prepare, there will always be that one or two questions that you haven't prepared for and you cannot answer. So, ganun lang yon. So, you have to learn to accept that reality. You will not be able to probably answer every question that is thrown your way. If you don't know, and use a tip, if you don't know the answer, do not invent an answer. That's the worst thing you can do. Because it's like, making the thing worse. Kung talagang hindi mo alam yung sagot, be humble enough to say, that's a very good question, sir or ma'am. To be transparent, I don't have the answer for you now. But if you give me some time, I will get back to you on that maybe today or tomorrow. But do not invent the answer. And you just have to live with the fact that you will not be able to answer everything. But if you prepare very well, you will probably be able to answer 80 to 90% of what they will ask. And that's not bad. I hope that helps.
May naisip tuloy ako. Is this, di ba, job interviews are a sort of business presentations din, di ba? You presenting yourself, selling yourself.
Yeah.
to a
Yeah,
potential ano, 'di ba, employer.
yeah.
Ah, in relation to JM, is this a technique in HR? Kasi I've experienced twice din na ganyan na
Si
interview
Raymond makakasagot
tapos
yan, taga-HR to si Raymond.
tapos ano, eh, ang dating parang ginagalit ka nila, ina-agitate ka nila. Is it a technique para lang makita yung attitude mo 'pag ginagalit ka or inaano ka? Is it a technique, Raymond?
Well,
O gano'n lang
it
talaga
could be a
nangyari?
hindi, it could be a technique or it could be the personality talaga ng interviewer, but you have to
Hmm,
prepare for the worst. So parang same with the presentation, you need to prepare in advance, di ba? Anticipate possible questions, especially the hard questions, and condition yourself that whatever word, no, whether you like them or not, is thrown at you, no, then parang you maintain your your
composure.
calmness, 'di ba, composure. So ganun lang naman 'yan, eh. I think it can be a test, no? But end of the day naman, it's your response that matters more, no, than what.
Ayan, okey. So, another question sa mga katabi ko dito, your memorable, happy, ano naman, experience doing a presentation, may it be ano ba, abroad? Ano yung mga memorable, happy instances during your ano, presentation? Ian?
Ako, I can't pinpoint any one presentation that I was very happy about. No? But I think in general, if I may answer it in general, no, if I get a feedback from the audience, whether it's online or face-to-face, kasi we do get presentation feedbacks, especially when we do training sessions. No? If they see that they learned a new thing or two, or I was very helpful, or I was very clear, okay na ako doon. I can't remember any one presentation that I was very happy about. But in general, when you present to the senior leaders of your company, no, like I just had one this this Thursday night, no. In general, those presentations make me happy when my boss says we did a good job. But wala akong pinpoint na isa lang, eh. But again, those you need to prepare for those kinds of presentations, no. But if your boss gives you a good feedback, then you should be happy.
Ayan, to Raymond daw, to Sir Raymond. Um, because madalas ka nating kasama, some of our followers, friends, 'di ba, saw you last time parang tama ba, Raymond, na bakante ka daw. Ah, how were you able to quickly, land a new job? I'm curious yung mga tao kasi in these times, 'di ba? Very, very difficult. But in your instance, how did you dealt with it?
Wow! Ibang ano yan, ibang topic yan. But sige, I'll answer that,
Mm.
no. Well, first of all, of course, number one, ano, si Ian actually, I'm very grateful to Ian. Ano yan eh, parang kinoach na rin ako nung time na yun. No? I think that's what's good about this community kasi even if you're a coach, no, kahit career coach or whatever, you still need to be coached by someone else.
Yeah.
No? Especially that you have blind spots also. So anyway, so it made me decide also to really go back to the corporate world. No, at sabi nga ni Ian, I think you still have what, 10 more years in the corporate, di ba? So
At least.
pwede mo pa rin naman gawin. Yes, at least, di ba? And you can still do that, that side hustle, no, while doing your corporate work. So ako, I'm really just grateful kasi my former boss actually reached out to me, no, and asked me if I'm actively looking. So ako din, I was already thinking of applying na dun sa former company ko, and it just so happened that the stars aligned and nagkaroon ng opportunity. So yun na, and then the rest is history, no. So parang ako nakita ko yung value din of um not burning bridges, especially if you left one company, 'di ba, for another. Kasi when you leave companies naman, it doesn't mean that you don't like the company anymore, no, or yung mga negative reasons. Of course, you have your own reasons, especially this career-related reasons, 'di ba? But at the end of the day, whatever relationships you had in your former company, eventually you'll never know, no, you get to meet those people again, and who knows, no, you might need their help again, or it's them that they would need your help. So ako yun yung isa sa mga greatest lessons. No? Always take care and nurture whatever relationships you've had in whatever place that you've been in. Ayun.
Ayan. Yep. The stars really do align.
Yeah.
There's always a perfect timing for everything, sabi nga nila.
Yeah. There's always a reason. So probably hindi niya binibigay sa 'di ba? Now, baka malay mo may mas gusto pa pala siya mas maganda pa para sa Kaya don't fret, 'di ba?
Agree.
Yes.
Well said.
Agree. Ako naman na may
Ay.
question, Ian, kay Joe Mark. Para kay Joe. Kasi si Joe Mark, 'di ba, Ian, parang he has trainings in LinkedIn, 'di ba? So parang LinkedIn trainer to. So I'm quite curious lang din kay Joe Mark, no. Of course, nasa presentation tayo. How do you prepare for your LinkedIn trainings? Ayan. And how do you feel? Kasi syempre ibang level na 'yon, 'di ba? Kung LinkedIn trainer ka na. Meron ka ng training sa LinkedIn courses natin.
Hindi about LinkedIn local live stream na ito. Tama
Oo,
ba?
yung mga natin, 'di ba? May courses ka na sa LinkedIn, 'di ba?
Yep.
Para yung mga ganun.
Yeah, so it's the story there is same with you. Parang it's all about connections. Kaya guys, yung mga nandito nanonood sa atin ngayon, please do connect with everyone else. You'll never know. And like what Raymond mentioned earlier, bridges, napakalaga. So, I came into LinkedIn Learning instructor. I became a LinkedIn Learning instructor out of friendship bridges. Ako yung type na person na mas gusto ko na wala kang masasabi sa akin. I'm very much protective on the reputation thing kasi pag nasira mahirap talaga. So okay lang sa akin madaya pero never ako mandadaya. Yun ang ko. And I've been doing I think I'm an expert already in doing courses. Online courses sa LinkedIn Learning. Actually, tuwan-tuwa sila dyan dahil whenever I get to submit, it's almost done. Konting QA na lang. And and yung LinkedIn Learning kasi, sorry, di ba, limited lang yung maibibigay natin. Limited lang yun, yung benefits natin na binibigay na subscription. That's why, again, yung pag-iisip na makatulong. That's why we're doing this, this type of event, platform, LinkedIn Local with Sir Ian. And I do believe kasi, Raymond, na malupit ang Pilipino, malupit ang talentong Pinoy. 'Di ba? It has to have a platform and voice like Miss Virginia. Kaya I'm so happy I met her and you guys na hello, hindi sa akin to, sa atin. Laging I never think about myself, sa atin to. And hindi mo mararating yung sasabihin mong narating mo kung walang bumitbit sa'yo, walang tumulong, walang ganun. 'Di ba? So, very, very thankful. Ayan. I'm adding a new friend in the form of Ian Santos, di ba? And from there, throughout the years, we'll never know. Di ba? Let's just be consistent.
Yeah. So baka next time, Joe Mark, baka next time, pwedeng ikaw naman yung mag-share about how to be a LinkedIn instructor. Di ba?
Pwede.
Experience na doon. Oo.
Anytime.
Kaya namin matutuloy yan.
I think
I'm so sorry na, Yeah.
No, at the end of the day, we can learn something from everybody, no?
Yeah.
Wala naman tayong monopoly ng learnings and skills and experiences, di ba? And I think that's what's one thing that's really great about, the LinkedIn local community in the Philippines, and not just in the Philippines, no? The top 100 Filipinos on LinkedIn, it's a community, di ba? Hindi naman tayo nagpapasikatan or what. It's a community helping each other out. So like what we're doing tonight, no, we're not just helping Virginia, but hopefully our audience is learning something also that they can actually use in their life, di ba?
Yeah. And I do conduct a lot of trainings like you guys, but pang engineering kasi, pang technical. So hindi
Mga high-tech masyado for me and
Oo.
Raymond yung turo ni Joe Mark.
And the lessons learned is talagang you have to meet someone very different kasi you'll be learning a lot of things from them. And this platform, this scene is of course very very different from what I've been used to. So yeah, I definitely learned a lot. Diba?
Good to hear.
Don't stick to your comfort zones lagi. Ang sarap ma-stress. Kahit itong pag-organize ito, minsan pag malilate si Sir Raymond, nakaka-stress eh. Ang sarap eh.
Simple lang yun.
Pero again,
Ouch,
di ba?
Good job.
Nasa isip lang yun. It's very fun. It's very fun. And it ended up, I enjoy doing these things. Ayan. Anyways, before we end this, may winner tayo ng LinkedIn Learning subscription, and those winners are Rose Ann Damgo. I have pasted or commented down her name, and Roma Mentes. So again, congratulations for winning a business. Business Premium LinkedIn Learning subscription. So you have to, Roma Mentes and Rose Ann Damgo, you have to message me before this evening ends. So same din kay Sir Ian. Don't forget to vote for your, may it be your boss, your ex-boss. Sigurado. You will never reach din, no, yung career success mo if walang leader. Walang boss. Like basketball, Sir Raymond, di ba? Walang coach na nagtiwala sa'yo kahit anong galing mo pa.
Yes.
Binangko ka naman. Sayang. So please vote and support top 30 leaders on LinkedIn. And don't forget, di ba? We'll never know. Please, please share your blessings. Again, if in any way natulungan po kayo ni Miss Virginia, let's plant seeds. And so I guess if you have a message or an advocacy to share, like Sir Ian, Raymond, inviting you to be our next sharer sa LinkedIn Local Philippines. So once more, thank you, Ian. Thank you, Raymond. Very happy. Nakatulong na naman tayo. Sana.
Yes.
I'm
sure.
Thank you again for the invite. It was nice spending the evening with you both and our audience.
Yes, likewise, bro. Thanks also, John Mark, for inviting me to co-host with you. Always a pleasure.
Ayan. And again, sa uulitin po. So once more, thank you everyone and have a great evening. Happy Monday bukas.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Looking to make your first video? You don't need a big budget or fancy editing skills to make an effective tutorial, product demo, or training video. Simply record your screen and add a few effects. With Camtasia, you can make engaging videos quickly and confidently. Record anything on your computer screen: websites, software, webinars, presentations, or bring in your own files. Create engagement by adding callouts, animations, and transitions, or help your viewers follow along with built-in cursor effects. With a few clicks, you can customize the video to match your brand or style with intros, music, and lower thirds. End up with a professional-looking video your viewers actually watch. Then share directly to your favorite hosting site. With a Camtasia video, you get more viewer engagement and help your audience learn more effectively. Whether you have video experience or this is your first time making one, we give you everything you need to make a high-quality instructional video. Join millions of other Camtasia users and start creating great training videos today. If you need to share information with video, you need Camtasia.